esteemed Director, Professor Himanshu Rai, esteemed Director of AICCS, Professor Alka Acharya, a very distinguished guest amongst us, Ambassador Ashok Kanta, and my dear colleagues and scholars and some of our students. It gives me great pleasure to stand here and deliver the welcome address as convener of the Institute of China, as a convener of All India Conference of China Studies. In the 1990s, when China announced itself to the world, its leadership spoke about, the peaceful rise of China. They called it He Ping Chue Qi. Now, when the West saw this whole, ambition of China in the form of He Ping Chue Qi, the West was alarmed a bit. But China, in all its modesty, said, no, we are not going to threaten you. Please, don't be scared of us. And to assuage, those concerns, China said, no He Ping Chue Qi, no peaceful rise, peaceful development. So He Ping Fa Zhan. But then, today, we see that rise is there, and China is not at all disturbed by concerns of the West. It's not concerned whether you call it development, whether you call it rise. But one thing is for sure, it is definitely not peaceful. He Ping is definitely not there. And that has given rise to a new age of great power competition. In this age of great power competition, people are talking about, what shape this great power competition is going to take place. With China openly now saying that we are no more going to be norm takers, we are going to be norm makers. And therefore, China is all out there to rewire globalization. So when we are talking about the fate of globalization, some call it that we are entering a phase of deglobalization, where parallelly you see resurgence of economic nationalism. Some call it globalization, and some others call, if at all we are witnessing end of globalization, it is end of globalization inspired by the US-led West. What it is going to get replaced by is a globalization, new form of globalization to be led by, new powers like China and India. And so I always believe, I tell my students, and wherever I get the chance to contribute my 2 cents, I always say that if India is to attain its pride of place in 21st century, one of the biggest challenges it faces is to deal with the challenge of understanding China. How do you deal with this monster called China, which has suddenly erupted itself into so much of prominence with tremendous speed and scale? Just to give an example of speed and scale, just 2 days back I was reading that this is speed for China. So the Nürburgring, race, it's called the Green Hell. It's a 13-mile course in the mountainous terrains in West Germany. Now, Xiaomi, which actually got into the act of manufacturing electric cars, and the first one it manufactured was in 2024, and then it participated in 2025, and the electric car of Xiaomi actually ended up being the 3rd fastest, electric or otherwise, in the history of this competition. And in this competition, till now, the cars which were dominated by traditional Western European companies, they were the ones who always had the central action. But this is speed for you. And if you're talking of scale, let's take the case of the energy sector. Today, China accounts for more than half of world's installed solar and wind capacity combined. Today, 3/4 of renewable energy projects currently underway worldwide are either in China or being driven by Chinese contractors. 30% of global emissions come from China, but ironically, so too does much of growth in decarbonization technology. But this speed and scale has come at a cost. China is suffering from overproduction capacities, which we call Neichuan involution, massive debt levels, the crisis fueled by the real estate crisis, COVID, and to a certain extent, a leadership hell-bent on changing the rules of the game. So therefore, China today has completely disrupted this, the post-Second World War order, and therefore the great power competition. We could not have got the timing of this conference better, where recently, once again, Indian leadership has started at the highest level engaging with China and see what all possibilities of collaboration can take place. So it is what you call competitive collaboration of sorts. And just yesterday, the fourth plenum of the 20th Central Committee concluded unveiling China's ambitions to achieve its socialist modernization plan, with the prominent objective of issuing the proposals for the 15th five-year plan, which they call the Qinyi. So the significant proposals in the 15th year plan include that China aspires to achieve significant achievements in high-quality productive forces, substantial improvements in science and tech self-reliance, further advances in strengthening national security shield, and strive to take leading position in science and tech development and seize commanding heights of science and technology, which in Chinese is called Qiangchan Keji Fajan Shirkao Dian. So we can't have a better conference theme than the one which we thought of. The stars have completely aligned to justify what we emphasized under the leadership of the director a year back when he was giving the vote of thanks in the 17th AICCS. It was he who actually said that we should be doing something which would be related to globalization and the China factor in trade, technology, and sustainability. And here we are. So this conference theme is very apt, as we see. And this conference has seen unprecedented 160 abstract submissions. It has never happened earlier. Out of this 160, we got 81 papers selected. And out of those 81, there was 2 rounds of peer review. And then we finally, including one panel proposal, we came down to 36. And so we have 10 thematic panels, and we have 5 special panels, which is basically going to witness participation of some of the leading scholars and leading corporate professionals. The CEO of ACE Micromatic International, my good friend Raghu Ramchandran, is there. CEO of Fuku Mobile, Ravi Shankar Bose, he has come from China all the way. And then we have I. Fani Kumar, who has just recently retired, and he has been in China for 17 years, heading the State Bank of India and ICICI operations. Then we have one of the most thorough and distinguished academicians amongst us, Professor Velamuri Ramakrishna. So I'm sure you will have a lot to chew in the next 3 days with such eminent people spending their very valuable time to come and attend this conference. Although the vote of thanks is due, and my co-convener is going to perform that duty, but I take the liberty of thanking from the bottom of my heart my director, Professor Himanshu Rai, for his unconditional support in organizing this conference. I also thank ICS director for agreeing to have the conference in IIM Indore. It's a strange coincidence that in 2013, when I hosted the All India Conference of China Studies in IIM Kozhikode, Ambassador Ashok Kanta was about to take the role of Indian ambassador to China that time. And strangely, 12 years later, again we are having this conference in IIM Indore, and again he is the keynote speaker and the chief guest. Very warm welcome to all of you to this conference. My sincere request to all the participants is be part of the sessions, various sessions as much as possible. A lot of hard work has gone into it. And Indore Sarafa Bazaar starts after 9 p.m. And so it's not too late in Indore to enjoy Indore. So please be part of the sessions and make the most out of it. And